Left-handers, what do you still struggle with in today's age? Learning cursive. All of the follow the dotted line lettering was on the left side of the paper. Being covered by my hand when I started to write, my teacher told me she'd find me a lefty copy. That was 8 years ago. Brooms, mops. If you use a broom, or mop, which is screwed onto a handle and brush with it left-handed, so the pressure is on the wrong side, it gradually unscrews as you use it and the broom head falls off. It's really annoying, but I try to cope with it by cleaning as little as possible. Ringed notebooks are the devil, and pens whose ink doesn't dry fast enough, so it gets all messy when your hand goes over it. Edit. Thanks for all the recommendations of what notebook to get instead. I just use my laptop for all note-taking. Kills two birds with one stone. Smile. The fact that my teacher when I was 5 years old shamed and trained me to use my right hand, and then every teacher after her gave me extra homework, practicing handwriting because my right-handed scribbling was practically illegible. Right-handed people don't realize how many normal things are built for them. One that really annoys me are spatulas. There is a slant at the top that always slants right to left, and it becomes impossible to scrap the left side of a pan. Rant over. Brooms, mops. If you use a broom, or mop, which is screwed onto a handle and brush with it left-handed, so the pressure is on the wrong side, it gradually unscrews as you use it and the broom head falls off. It's really annoying, but I try to cope with it by cleaning as little as possible. Ringed notebooks are the devil, and pens whose ink doesn't dry fast enough, so it gets all messy when your hand goes over it. Edit. Thanks for all the recommendations of what notebook to get instead. I just use my laptop for all note-taking. Kills two birds with one stone. Smile. The fact that my teacher when I was 5 years old shamed and trained me to use my right hand, and then every teacher after her gave me extra homework, practicing handwriting because my right-handed scribbling was practically illegible. The fact that my teacher when I was 5 years old shamed and trained me to use my right hand, and then every teacher after her gave me extra homework, practicing handwriting because my right-handed scribbling was practically illegible. Not a left-hander, but I aim with my left eye, so my left hand is on the trigger. Weapon to the left shoulder, right hand supports it. There are 0 to very few weapons designed for left-handers. Casings flying into your face from an ejection port on semi-auto. Bolt-action rifles need to be reloaded with your right hand. Charging handles on the right side of a weapon. Writing with a ballpoint pen. Any ink pen really. Smudging is a hassle and hand is covered in ink. Apparently ballpoint pens were designed for right-handers. Pen is meant to be pulled across the page where lefties have to push it. So true or not, I blame that on my untidy handwriting. Fishing rods and guns can be a bit difficult too. I don't do either often, so that's not such a biggie. The sporting goods store is always a pain. Shopping for baseball gloves and golf clubs. The lefty selection is always an afterthought. 1 or 2 dusty items sitting in the corner. Makes me feel like I'm in the special class for dumb kids at a bad school. Oh, you're a lefty? We have a special set of clubs just for you. Aren't they nice? Meanwhile, the entire store is filled with the latest high-tech options for right-handers. My only other option is to clumsily swing a right-handed club, hope it's good enough, and have it special ordered. Having a disadvantage in gaming with mouse and keyboard. So I tried using a mouse with my left hand and I have so much more control but no speed, and I have no muscle memory for the mouse or even worse the keyboard, and it's too late to change. I would need a left-handed mouse and a right-handed keyboard and like 6 months to adapt, and I would never commit. I'm not bad with my right hand or anything, as I like most have used it my entire life, but I can feel the control in my left and it sucks I can't use it lol. Does anybody who is cross-dominant ever struggle figuring out which handedness they are for each new task/activity/tool they use? And there's that word self-awareness learning curve. And sometimes you can't answer if you're left or right-handed on the first time of trying something out. Please share. I have always had a pathological fear of driving or operating a vehicle due to being so predominantly left-handed that I have suffered my entire life with clumsiness and coordination problems. I'm in the UK where cars are driven on the right-hand side, which only complicates things further. My brain just can't wrap itself around the idea of using both hands and feet to do different tasks at the same time whilst in motion. Not sure if this is more of a lefty than a righty problem, but it's always been an issue for me. My rice cooker. When I pointed out that if I used it for me, my hand would cover the steam vent, my sarcastic mother told me to just turn it around. As if it would just function. Nope, now buttons are against the wall. Can I get around it? Sure, but it is a very real reminder of how little your perspective as a left-hander matters. See also, every mobile app ever. When I get rich, I'm going to found a mobile game app company, and every game I make will cater to left-handed people just to show the world how mildly irritating it is. Can openers drive me insane? I would say writing with a pen that doesn't write quick enough ... but who writes these days lol. My parents taught me everything right-handed until I was about 5 when they realized I was left-handed, so I do lots odd ways round. I hold my knife and fork sometimes one way then the other, and my handwriting is at one time fucking appalling. What things left-handers are better at is a good question though. Odd shot in pool, boxing, driving because the gear stick is on a more confident side. UK, I'm really good at drums lol. Scissors. When you use them with your left hand, it separates the blades, making them cut like poo-poo. Also, nicer scissors are molded to fit the contours of a right hand, but using them backwards with left hand means that the fit is really wrong, and it usually hurts if you have a lot of cutting to do. You can buy lefty scissors, but they come with the standard lefty tax. It goes on, but my biggest are writing. I naturally have messy handwriting, so when teachers see it they almost always try to get me to use my right hand to write. Power tools, guns, or really anything with easily accessible safety switches, we usually host to maneuver and weird ways to access these switches. Over the years most lefties become ambidextrous in many things. I play a lot of paintball, so it has gotten to the point where I can shoot left and right-handed almost identically. I also partake in drawing color graded, so I have to learn all the steps of +8, but am used to, which in turn means doing all the heavy lifting and such with my weak arm. It also for years kept me from learning my right from my left, as in kindergarten my dashes taught to tell what way was right and what was left. Boo, using your writing hand BQ's right and right sound the same. I didn't get past this until I was 14. I also had a mandatory art class in my middle school where one of the units was calligraphy writing. The out on hate I got from my art teacher for smearing ink everywhere still haunts me to this day. She was viewy mean. I am also part of a robotics team where I am an engineer and driver, but we use a plain joystick to control a robot, and the sticks we use are destined to fit right hands, making it very uncomfortable to drive said robot. Edit. Like every 5 minutes I think of something else to add. Just about anything that is designed to be used by right-handed people, I've adapted over the years, but a few common examples. Most measuring cups are designed so the amount can be read only when held in the right hand. Rulers read from left to right, but as lefty I draw a line from right to left. Most scissors are a pain for me to use even if the handles can be used in either hand. Unless the blades are reversed, it's hard for me to see the line I'm cutting. Controls on many small electronics. Learning things from a right-handed person. I have a hard time translating motions to my left if I watch someone do it with their right. I learn a lot by doing. I've slowly become more ambidextrous due to learning to do things right-handed instead of left. I can still only write with my left hand because I cannot for the life of me figure out how to hold a pencil with my right and make the right motion, which I think may be related to the angle I'm used to holding a pencil with my left. The iPad Pro's pencil is magnetically attached on the right side, so when I hold it with my right hand, basically always, I have to turn the iPad upside down so it's more comfortable. But this makes the power button on the bottom instead of the top, and flips the volume buttons so the button you think is volume down is volume up. Buying a guitar. Most righties state you have to the guitar before you buy it. Thanks, but guitar stores barely stock anything other than beginner guitars or very affordable ones. Also, manufacturers don't make their whole range in a left-handed variant, so it limits choice. Also a lot of manufacturers throw 10% onto the price just for left-handed models. For me, it's my sanity. In video games, I feel like using directional keys to control my character makes pure sense. Like, if you looked down at a keyboard for the first time and thought the letter keys were the ones you should be using to move around, you're a genuine maniac. But nothing I saw can convince right-handed gamers that they're the weird ones. Doesn't help that a lot of game devs block keys like backspace, backslash and period from being key-bindable and in-game control scheme menace. We can still alter it in the config file anyway. Blocking it in-game just comes across as deliberately obstructive and makes me feel like shit for being left-handed. Most scissors are made for right-hand use, so I've just had to learn how to cut with my right hand. Not exactly a struggle, but mildly irritating. My coworker has a left-handed pair of scissors and I actually struggle to use them because I've used right-handed ones all my life. I feel like the cookie cutter answer is handwriting, but for me it's eating foods I have to cut like steak, which I love. I can eat them just fine using my left hand to cut with a knife and my right to hold the food in place with a fork. But if I tried holding the food down with my left hand on the fork and my right hand using the knife, it is incredibly awkward to do. Tin openers, rings on notebooks. I hold my pen in my left hand the way people do in their right straight. I see other lefties like tilt their wrist so their wrist and hand are above where they are writing, and I don't know why I don't do that. I don't rub my hand across the writing and make the ink smudge by holding it that way either. My teacher in first class told me I was using my wrong hand, so for that year one thought you had a right and wrong instead of a left and right. I cut with the scissors using my right hand because there weren't left ones when I was in school. Oh boy, probably when PPL are teaching me things, they always assume I'm right-handed, so set up equipment in a way that works for a right-handed person. So then when it's my turn to try, they literally have to fix up all the equipment again. When doing woodwork with machines and certain saws, it happens to me quite frequently. It's also interesting how I have to process switching hands. I can't exactly do what the person showed me to do without reversing the position of my hands, so it always takes me a little longer to process something BC I have to remember to switch. I've already seen this a whole bunch, but I loathe cutting anything with scissors. Scissors suck monkey butt so bad. Learning how to crochet or knit or playing pool ... Everyone teaching you is right-handed. Can openers, those stupid desks in middle and high school. Pencils and pens always smudge along your pinky. I refused to use whiteboards and hated chalkboards in school. Learning which hand I'm better at doing something with. Although I just learned this new term here called cross-dominance, which I definitely have. I throw right-handed, bat left-handed, use a mouse right-handed, catch left-handed, bowl left or right, shoot right, eat with my left. Using a knife and fork. I was always confused since using the knife with my right hand, which I saw everyone do, didn't feel super comfortable. but at the same time using my left didn't feel right either. Mostly because I wasn't used to it. I think I saw the following tip in a manga, but oh my god, I cannot overstate how much it helped me resolve this confusion. Basically, the tip was to use the knife with the same hand you'd use a sword with. When I first read that, I was like, that's pure genius. It made so much sense. I've never had a problem with that ever since. I just dust the knife with my left and the fork with my right now. I'm right-handed, but I aim with both eyes when doing archery. The problem is that all visors are made for use with one eye, and while I know how it works, it just feels wrong and I miss everything. So after about 7 months of practice, I stopped shooting with a visor and I started to improve a lot faster, and managed to almost double my accuracy rate in about 2 months. Being told that doing things with your left hand is like doing things with the devil. My entire family is Muslim, so when they see me eat, drink, and play cricket with my left hand, they give me dirty looks and tells to stop using that hand because it's shit and Satan's way, and learn how to use my right. To this day I still use my left hand for everything, and the quote "you should be doing with your right hand" pisses me off. When someone ever gives a demonstration, whether it's painting something or fixing something or just anything that uses their hands, you always have to figure out how that translates to lefty mode, and it's the only thing that legitimately makes me brain fart still in regards to being a lefty. Pro tip: when I was in hair school, I struggled with learning how to hold the shears and cut as a lefty after the demonstration, so my trainer literally turned around so I could watch what he was doing in a mirror. It instantly clicked after that. If you have the option to have someone show you something in a mirror or to flip the video of the demonstration, do it. Being left-handed is weird. I find most become pretty ambidextrous by necessity. Other than writing and eating, I use my right hand for most things, from using a can opener, using scissors, a computer mouse, grabbing toilet paper since it is always on the right side, and even opening most doors right-handed. Just easier the way most door handles are curved. So I guess technically all of that would have been difficult had I not other comment by using my right hand more. But 3-ring binders are ridiculous to use as a lefty, and of course the ever-present left-hand writers smudge on your hand when writing. I was just complaining about this to my wife. The doorknobs in our house are designed to be turned clockwise, so the screws bite down on some notches to keep the doorknob from falling off. I turn the knobs counterclockwise since I use my left hand, so the notches keep getting pulled off of the screws, and occasionally a doorknob will come off in my hand. I used to work at a movie theater. The popcorn scooper was designed specifically for the right hand so that the popcorn funnels and lands much easier in the buckets. Bags. I had to either scoop popcorn in the most awkward way or just use my right hand. I went with backhanding the scooper with my left hand for style points. I was born left-handed, but was forced to write right-handed because I wrote upside down and from right to left, always with the notebook also upside down. I write right-hand now but can still go lefty if needed. Side benefit: I'm ambidextrous with pretty much everything else. The teachers at school forced me to write right-hand. When I served in the military, I had tons of shell casings go into my shirt and burn me in shooting ranges. I've broken several can openers from wrong pressure. Bonus: I didn't have left-handed scissors when I was taught how to cut in kindergarten, so I can only cut with my right hand. Very poorly. Today I'm a vet student and using the scissors and hemostats is weird to me, plus when we use cutters for strong bones it's very difficult for me. Pencils leave massive marks on your hand. This annoys me so much I'm considering learning how to write as Da Vinci did. Clocks that rotate clockwise are better suited to work with right-handed people, and while I don't personally struggle with this, I know some people can. I tried to start journaling and bought a fancy, $30, Fountain pen. I've never smeared so much in my life. Had to relearn how to write. It's always been an issue, but the ballpoint dries quick enough. Also can't do any flexi nibs because I push the pen and don't draw the ink out like right-handers do, so there's that. Someday I'll feel normal. When I die like everyone left or right-handed gets to.